Hello and welcome to the second channel for Tales from the Trip. I'm your host, a Trip Keeper, and on today's video, we're going to be looking at a Reddit thread an AskReddit thread that asks, "What insult that deeply hurts you won't you forget?" I think that was kind of worded a little bit wrong, but hey, the point is, it's an insult that deeply hurt that you still think of. And this is from, a year ago. Okay, it's only from a year ago. I saved this. I was looking at my saved post. I was looking at which ones I could do. There's a couple that I want to do, but this one kind of was like, this could be great for commentary as well because I don't want to just read them and that's it. That's for my main channel. You just read, read, read. But this one's read and commentary. So yeah, I like to give my opinion on things because it's my channel. Do whatever I want on it. But yeah, let's get this started. But yeah, everyone's been insulted in life. Sometimes some people more than others, some less than others. Depends on how rich you are. I've never been insulted. The only insult is when I don't have billions of dollars in my pocket at once. Okay. All right, let's read this. I got my iced tea, baby. Milo's iced tea. Shout out Milo's unsweetened iced tea. The sweet tea is very good as well. Okay, that person just said this thread just reminds me of how the cruelty of being a kid can sting. That is so true. This person said, or should I read their usernames? I don't know. Sober Cat Dad says, "My mom called me a fat son of a bitch when I was like 10. By typing this out, I realized she also called herself a bitch." That's true. That is totally true. So yeah, if you call your son a son of a bitch, that means that's your son, so that you are a bitch. I've recognized that as well. So yeah, she insulted herself. Uh, there you go. That's positive to think of. Person commented, "My mum," oh, shout out Europe. "My mum called me a cow son many times. I called her a cow back. She never understood the irony." Now, cow son, that must be like an insult in the European countries because we do not use that out here. I understand that it has to be a fat insult because of the cow, calling someone a cow or a pig that implies that they're fat. But I've never heard of cow son before. First time seeing that. COWSON, one word. But yeah. "My grandmother telling me I was useless and that no one likes me. I wasn't too choked up when she passed." Hey, well, fuck her. Jeez, that is, I mean, she's straight up. I've noticed that grandmas don't hold back. They're like kids, kind of. I mean, kids are a lot nicer. They don't really mean to be mean, but grandmas, they're intentionally, deliberately unhinged. But yeah. "This was me and my pa, beloved by the entire extended family except me. He was a horrible bastard who always picked on me and called me names. I remember everyone being devastated and me not giving 1 ounce of a fuck. Cruel and nasty. Bye." Yes, fuck them. "Teacher called me dumb when I asked about a concept third time." For a third time? Well, yeah, that's kind of like horrible to say to a student. You're literally a student in there to learn, and you're being called dumb. Like, that means you're a terrible teacher. You fucking teacher. Some teachers wanna, they act like they don't get paid enough, but other teachers are so good that they deserve to be paid more. And then there's teachers like this who are the ones who are probably saying they don't get paid enough, but the ones who keep their head down are good. I remember a couple teachers that were amazing, and I remember a lot of bad teachers that were horrible. um Someone replied, "I had a primary school teacher who would call people stupid as well. She would also rip up people's work if it wasn't good enough, quote unquote, and she made loads of people cry. The old battle axe thankfully retired the year after." Yeah, those old people, old teachers over here, pretty nasty. Can't imagine over on the other side. Um, Someone else replied, I went deaf in the fourth grade, still don't know why, came back after 6 months. Fourth grade teacher simply wouldn't believe me, asked to sit in the front. She then claimed that I was stealing attention away from the class by constantly asking her to repeat things. I was trying to read her lips. She put me in the back of the class. I got so nervous I stopped asking questions. I was held back thanks to her indifference. Like, I don't know why you'd lie about that. That would be absurd, especially being a kid. Kids in fourth grade, the most you're gonna lie about is not doing something to evade from your parents or a parent. In my case, shout out my single mom. Woohoo! Fuck dads that leave. Anyways, or a dad that was never there in the first place. Anyways, yeah, if you're in fourth grade, you really can't scheme up a lie that lasts that long. You really can't scheme up a lie in the first place. And a lie about being deaf, I mean, that's something a middle schooler would do, not a fourth grader. So yeah, that's kind of absurd. And like, why wouldn't you believe that? You could have called the parents, emailed the parents or whatever, unless they didn't have parents. I don't know. I can't say. Or they could have got a document. The kid wouldn't be thinking of that, though. But, that could have been something. But you shouldn't have to at that point. Like, really stealing attention away. That's so stupid. We can't trust you because you are adopted. Well, why'd you adopt me then? That is fucking. Well, I please disown me. I'd rather be adopted than be in this family. Like, up for adoption, I mean. Horrible parents. I upvoted this one. I must have read this before. I do not remember reading these. When I was a kid, I reached the point to where my mom wasn't quick enough to hit me anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. I was faster, I suppose. She didn't believe something I was telling her, and I can't remember what it was. She called me a liar and spit right in my face and said, "Liars are the scum of the earth." All the previous beatings vanished from my mind. I have never, nor will I ever forget her doing and saying that. Well, that's horrible to hear your mom saying that. Like, I always say to people I know that, like, your mom, like I just said before, your dad, I didn't have one growing up. He left, but like, your mom is very important. She needs to be in your life, and she needs to be a positive influence, or else you're screwed. Growing up with a mom that hates you or says these things to you, well, I guess, yeah, they would hate you if they said those things. But man, if you grow up with a mother like that, you're not gonna you're at a disadvantage in life, because she is part of you. Now, your dad is part of you, of course, the sperm mixing with the eggs, but man, you come out of your mom. Like, she gave birth to you, whether that was a C-section or she actually gave birth and did not need to be cut open. But yeah, that's devastating for sure. Someone said, your mother spit in your face. I can't believe that. I mean, I definitely do believe you. It's just pretty damn horrendous, and I'm so sorry. I second that. My dad would call me a liar the millisecond I disagreed with him on anything. It got so old, and now I'm extremely defensive over people calling me a liar, to the point that I subconsciously self-sabotage and end up lying on accident. It's so embarrassing to have to explain all that to people when I inevitably slip up, but it's just part of my life now, like brushing my teeth. Well, that's just completely horrible if you ask me. Yeah, being called a liar that much is just going to take a toll on you. Anything that happens when you're younger will take a toll on you. I've noticed that if I scream, when I do scream, I'm not a very big screamer, and usually it's just by myself. I don't scream at other people, but when I get angry at something and I do scream, I sound like my mom when she did. When she would scream, fuck, I would do it the same way. So yeah, they have big influences on you. But that's truly sad, hearing that you have to be so defensive when being called a liar that you actually do end up lying because you think about it so much. That's just horrible. Someone commented under that, this type of parenting can really screw someone up later in life. Yes, as I was just saying. My mom would get furious if I disagreed or put up any resistance with anything she said as a kid, and it often got violent and much yelling was involved. This has caused me to become very agreeable and submissive as an adult. I'm a total pushover now, and my mom has been dead for 20 years. Yeah, it's the opposite thing that can happen. You become agreeable and submissive, like this person. That's horrible because you don't want to get into arguments. I'm like that. Like I agree with things and I'm submissive a lot of the times. I step up when I really need to, but there's a lot of things that I let slide in this world, and I really, there's things where I wish I could go back and say no, I don't want to do that, but yeah, now I try to control it a little bit, and yeah, I've been working on it to better myself. But yes, there's times I just don't want to get in fights, and it's just, yeah, so fuck that. But you got to stand up for yourself, though. You got to stand up for yourself at the end of the day. Like it can haunt you, growing up in adulthood, but you also need to step up and take some accountability as well. And not be a pushover. I'm not blaming you or calling you out or anything. I'm just saying there's some things that you can change. No, it's not over. You can learn this maybe through therapy or just by yourself. I don't know, but you got to find a way because you can't be a pushover your whole life because you'll get pushed over. You're very vulnerable by people, and they will see that and attack that and will use it against you. This person commented underneath, same here, but from my step-mum. Spent years calling me selfish and saying everything I said was a lie. It led me to hating myself for years, and now with language, overanalyzing or remembering a conversation I had wrong and then looking like a liar. Tragic. Another person, my mom was like this. Oh, how she hated when I started fact checking her in real time. Of course, her being wrong wasn't a big deal then. Nuclear FPS responded, my dad's default punishment was always to take away my phone/computer privileges, so I couldn't do exactly this. I was a menace about it, even though I only got it out like 3 or 4 times before he caught on. Havaki says in a new comment, when I was about 14, while having a fight with my dad, he told me that they shouldn't have had me. Almost 20 years later, I've forgiven it, but never forgot. Yeah, that's how it is about some things, man. There's a lot of things that you've forgiven and you're not going to be petty over, not going to, keep a grudge, but you never forget it. There's things that you never forget. And to hear that come out of your parent, whether it's your mom or dad, especially your mom would be horrible, but your dad too, I mean, just as bad. I wouldn't understand. I don't have experience with the dad, but anyways, he clearly shouldn't have had me. Anyways, but hearing your dad say that's someone you look up to and love, they shouldn't have had me, that's just horrible to hear. And I'm really grateful reading some of these so far that I grew up in a good household, even though we were poor. Lived in Section 8 apartment growing up. We had food stamps, all this stuff. We weren't on welfare or nothing, but yeah, my mom did her best in raising me. She did as good of a job as she could. Yes, she could have had a better job if she really pushed herself, but I couldn't control that as a kid. Now she does, thankfully, but yeah, it sucks hearing when parents say stuff like that to you. Like, I'm just so grateful my mom never said anything like that. Even when she was mad at me or got drunk, she would always just be nice most of the time. I mean, she would yell at me, but she would never say something like that. But yeah. Someone commented underneath that, I once got into an argument with my dad about how he made me eat something I didn't want to eat or else I'd get hit, and I ended up throwing up. He doesn't remember that at all. Maybe he was drunk, hopefully. I mean, if he hasn't done that before, then that's crazy. But if he was drunk, hopefully that wasn't his real self, or he was on Xanax or something that can do that shit. That can cause a whole bunch of anger bottled up, and you don't even remember you did anything. Also, go watch the new Klonopin video I just dropped on my main channel. It's a benzodiazepine, just like Xanax. So, yeah, go check that out. And yeah, um, but that's crazy. Abuse has no room in this world. Hearing abuse stories it just makes me sick. It really makes me sick. But we're not gonna get into that in this video. Well, some of these are abuse for real, verbal abuse, mental abuse. It's all just a huge shame, and it sucks. But yeah. This comment. Let me see here. Okay. Dejected Nebula underneath that says, my mom had a fiance who would do this to me too. I think I was 4 or 5 when this happened over a few times. She was in the shower one day when it happened, and he got so mad. He said I had to eat my vomit back off the table. What? Oh, gosh. That is disgusting. At which point I get loud and start freaking out, which was very unusual for me. She came out wrapped in a towel and threw her ring in his face, and that was the end of that relationship. Fucking jackass. Not even your dad. I mean, your dad's saying it would be horrible too, but your mom's fiance, not blood related, tells you to do this. Like I said, not a pass if it was blood related. It's still horrible. But man, the nerve of these people, they can control someone's kid, not even your own. You want it to be your kid one day, and then you say this kind of bullshit. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Hopefully he has not, he does not have the chance to do this to anybody. That's just terrible. She's her own problem in itself, but I'm glad she stood up for me that time. But what is it with them never remembering any mistakes they made? Every time I brought anything up, she acts dumbfounded. This comment got so many upvotes. I feel I should mention what it was I couldn't eat. Processed freaking veal patties. I still don't like processed chicken like nuggets or sandwiches, but the veal patties were the nastiest things in the world. Veal is kind of a weird taste, and I really don't want to eat veal. Just thinking, I would be a vegan if I could, but meat is just so prevalent in my life. It'd be hard. But thinking about eating baby cows is just, I can't. And it's not even that good to where I would want to anyway, This person commented, I've heard this explained pretty well actually. In a lot of cases, they don't even really realize that what they did was harmful. For example, my friend had a serious aversion to milk ever since her dad made her drink an entire glass of expired spoiled milk when she was 5 or 6. Ugh. A whole glass. Ugh, just one sip is gonna make me vomit. I love milk. I could drink a whole glass of milk, couple glasses at that. But expired milk, y'all know if you smelled it before, it's nasty. If you've seen it, it's nasty too. Parentheses, he didn't know it was expired, but yelled at her for finishing her food. Parentheses, and her dad has no memory of this because, quote unquote, to you it was a traumatic, life-changing event. To him it was a Tuesday. Yeah, that's abuse again. Another one with abuse. My abusive grandma did this shit to my little sister when we were kids. She wasn't even in school yet. I had come home from school, I was in kindergarten, to find her crying at the dining table in the dark. When I asked what was wrong, she told me our grandma made her eat blueberry pie, and she didn't like it, and it made her throw up. Then my grandma proceeded to make her eat her vomit. The absolute disgust I had for that woman as a 5-year-old has never left me. She was a terrible, awful person. Okay, yeah, that's horrible. I've never heard this happen before. Maybe I've seen people say they've been told to eat their own vomit, but I've never heard parents or parental figures like a grandparent or someone like that to eat vomit, their own vomit. That's something a dog would do, or an animal. It's just plain old disgusting, and these people deserve punishment. That grandma is dead, probably. We'll see if she's eaten her own vomit in the afterlife. Um, the Someone commented, the abuse itself is bad enough, but what kind of sick fuck wants to see anyone eat their own vomit? It's just so fucked up and disgusting. That's another good point. Like, who wants to see that? Like, I totally agree with that. I didn't even think about that. Like, who would want to see someone eat vomit? Like, they clearly, maybe they like eating vomit themselves. I don't know. They're just, hey, if they're disgusting enough to ask that, they're just probably disgusting, just as disgusting as vomit itself. Someone else said, that is so awful. I don't know what would compel someone to do that to another person, let alone a kid. Right. It's like, man, it's crazy enough to think about telling an adult to do that, but a child, oh man. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, this person brings up a good point. Like before, that's because while it was a formative memory to you, it was a Tuesday to them. That's what someone else said, and I think that is true, for sure. Yeah, they said that to you, it was a traumatic, life-changing event. To him, it was a Tuesday. Yeah, I should have brought that up. Said something more about that when I read that. I apologized. But yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. There's things that you remember that some people won't even think about because they're so terrible that they're used to it. Nobody in this world can hurt you as much as your parents. I wish more people understood that. I'm sorry this happened to you. Watch Oprah one day when I was little, and it was about finding out your parents weren't your real parents. Dad turns to me and says that he doesn't think I am his. Oprah did it better. Well, that's kind of scary if I'm reading that correctly. As someone whose real dad never actually did want me, I feel for you, homie. Internet hugs for you. Yeah, let's give all these people internet hugs. And while we're at it, let's give each other, who's watching this, commenting out there, give each other hugs, man. We're in this world to love each other, not to hate. Not to hate for no reason. If you hate somebody for some reason that they can't control, or for societal purpose, whatever is in your mind, thinking that you should not like a person because of something about them, that then you need to fix yourself and learn to be better, because everyone in this world can be a good person. The evil people, they need to learn better. They need to learn not to be evil. There's lots of evil in this world, but hey, as long as you're a good person, you can say that. You can't even say it, because when you're a good person, you let your actions show. You don't let your mouth show, because a lot of evil people say they're good people. I've heard that way more than when good people say. Good people do not even acknowledge that they're good. They just do it because they are good. That's just how they are. So yeah. Don't acknowledge yourself, because that you can. What you could do, what my therapist told me to do for a week for homework, was to write down something positive you have done in a day, because no one's gonna. Sometimes people, your friends or partner or family, will tell you that you did something good, and they acknowledge something positive that you did, and it'll be a nice compliment. But most of the time, you go around life and no one will say anything about what you have done. But I think this is a very good tool. I want to get back to doing it. Grab a notebook or your notes on your phone and just write down something positive you did that day, whether it's little or big. Like I wrote down. I actually have my notebook right here. Let me see what I wrote down on there. Oh, don't want to read that. That's very private. I think it was before this paper. Oop. No, not that. Oh, here we go. Here's from October 9th, 2025. I cleaned out my closet and donated 6 trash bags and 4 paper bags of clothes and other stuff to Goodwill. My closet has so much more room now. Something like that. That was kind of a big thing. That took me hours to clean out my closet, and it's so nice though. The next day, I took my mom to the eye doctor because she wouldn't be able to see if I didn't take her. I guess it's what a son should do, though. Something small like that. Something. You're supposed to take care of your mom or dad or parents as long as they took care of you. You should give them that. They raised you. They didn't ask for any thank yous. They just did it because they're your parents, and yeah, I mean they're the reason why you're living here, whether that's good or bad to you. It's definitely good. So yeah, just stuff like that. Like there's the little things you could do too. Like let's say you could write down, I acknowledged, or I acknowledge that I'm stressed out, and I thought of things to get my mind off of it. It could be something like that, something you may think is small, but it's actually pretty big in the grand scheme of things if it involves stress. So yeah, that's just a recommendation to you guys. It definitely helped me a little bit. I've been in great moods. I've been really positive this whole year, pretty much. So yeah, I guess I didn't really need it, but if you are struggling with life right now and your mental health, that's something maybe that can help you. At the end of the day, realize that you are positively impacting this world, whether people see it or they don't. So yeah, I thought I would share that. Let's see here. Is this still the same one, or is this? Oh, okay. Whoopsie. I don't want to lose where I'm at. There's a lot here, though. That was kind of really cringe. I apologize about that. Okay, we passed that. Sorry, I lost my spot. Whoopsie. Oh, here we go. Okay. My father told me I'm a bitch who deserves to be miserable in life. It was the final blow in 25 years of terrible things he has said to me. All things he conveniently forgets and rolls his eyes whenever I bring it up and claims never happened. We barely talk now. He'll send memes on Facebook and complain to my mom that I never call. I call my mom weekly just when he's at work. Fucking dad. That's how you get him back. Oh, why doesn't my daughter call me? I wasn't a bad parent. Well, these people have no self-awareness whatsoever. Good for you on not calling him. Good for you. He's a piece of shit. You deserve to be miserable. Who would say that to somebody? Like, not just deserve. Like I've heard people say you deserve to die. You deserve never to be born, but deserve to be miserable in life. So you want them to live, but you want them to be miserable while living. Like that seems kind of worse than the other ones I was just saying about wanting. Saying you should die or saying you should have never been born. Like, I think this might be worse. I'll pray for you, Chatter Chick. Name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. God, please bless this woman as will live a happy, positive life, and bless her and her future self. So yeah, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. That's all you gotta do. You gotta. Yeah, I talk to God a lot now. I become somewhat religious. I've been going to church every here and there, and I've been reading the Bible a little bit, praying a lot, and that's also been a positive impact on my life. But I'm not gonna share anymore, as some people, I don't want to be overly into it and get people annoyed. I respect people's other religions or not believing at all. So yeah, just I thought I would say that. And yeah, but I'm very respectful of everybody. Okay, this one person says their username is I am toast with TOAS_T. Don't understand that, but okay. I was almost 6 feet tall and weighed 140 pounds, soaking wet, trying out for the football team. We had been practicing 3 times a week for a couple months. Also, Pickles is running back and forth behind me, so if you hear that, that's Pickles. And naturally, I was getting demolished in a lot of the contact drills. The bigger guys made it to a sport to hit me as hard as they could. At the end of every practice, there was 20 minutes where we would do a full scrimmage. In the the huddle, one of the star running backs looks around and says, "So this is the team, eh, boys? Except for you," and points to me. Everyone laughed. Oh gosh, that is sickening. The huddle broke, and as I'm jogging out to the wide receiver spot, someone hits their hand flat over my ear hole, which, if you've ever had it done to you in a football helmet, is quite loud. That comment was the realization that they were all laughing at the skinny guy trying to make the team. It just destroyed my love of football. I didn't even wait to be cut. I biked over to my coach's house, put my gear on his porch, rang the bell, and left. I see that the running back who made that comment isn't doing great in life, and honestly, I'm happy for his struggle. Okay, so this is like, yes, it is nice. Like, it feels positive to see that someone who bullied you in school is not doing well in life, but you also got to still stay humble, because you don't want bad karma coming your way. But yeah, that is horrible to say to somebody. I can just imagine that, man, because there was jocks in school. I was pretty friendly with everybody, so I kind of, I didn't hang out with any jocks, but if we were in the same class, I'd talk to them sometimes. I'd talk to the theater kids, the gay people, the nerds. I was friends with everybody. I was cool because I didn't belong to any group. But yeah, I know when jocks can be mean to people. And yeah, just not just jocks, but anybody really, they could be mean. And you should be, I guess, as a kid, as people in school, they're not old enough to realize that a skinny kid trying out for the football team when they're not supposed to even be in it is more brave than any of those kids who are, already made for the sport that's gonna make it. Like, that is pretty fucking kick-ass, dude, that you tried out. It's a shame, because that coach probably would have cut you because of the kids making fun of you. They wouldn't want you on the team. But hey, man, you tried, and I think, no matter what, it would have been cut, regardless if you were doing good and you did good and you actually were better than them. It's just, yeah, the coach is probably going to take the majority, because we know the coaches and teachers, some of them are horrible with bullying as well. They bully everyone as well. Now, some teachers are very good too, but yeah, there's some teachers and coaches that are horrible as well. But yeah, that sucks. And is this like the first one that isn't a parent? That goes to show you that parents are a very big part of the problem. I think that was one of the top comments. If I'm not gonna go back up. If it was, it don't even matter. But yeah, I'm just say it again if it was. So yeah, that's sad. I used to get this a new comment. Sergeant Go. I used to get made fun of a lot for my nose as a kid. Pinocchio, Bird Boy, you name it. I do have a big nose, but it's not like a disfigurement or anything. Think Adrian Brody, except maybe a little bit smaller, or my facial features aren't as sharp. I'm almost 40 and I'm still very self-conscious about it. My wife loves my nose, but I don't fully believe her when she says it. Also, a girl in junior high once told me I have big pores, and I've never been able to forget that. Big pores. So they talking about like your what's that called? Blackheads. Yeah, people have noticed my blackheads without even being aware that that's not probably the best thing to say. I don't care anymore. Like, I have a pretty decently sized nose myself. I wouldn't say it's big, but it's definitely bigger than the average humans. But I realize I also have a big head. Like, when people's heads are very small to me, and when I try on hats or something, like, I have to put on the last couple ones to, the ones where you attach and clip it on. Yeah, so that kind of that's just life living with a big head. Does that mean I have a big brain? Probably not. But yeah, no, it's that sucks to have someone say that to you and you're self-conscious about it. But I'm glad that this person has a wife that says their nose is not a problem, and what does she say? She says she loves his nose, which is good. I was self-conscious about my baldness before I met my girlfriend, and now she loves it. Actually, she made me feel not self-conscious about it, and I'm actually very I love it now. I would not, if you asked me if I wanted hair, I would say no. I like it like this. You don't have to do nothing, man. Being bald is fucking awesome. If you got thinning hair, get rid of all the products trying to keep your hair. Don't even think about getting a hair transplant, man. Just shave it all off. I'm telling you, a shaved head is amazing. I got birthmarks and moles on my head too, and I always thought like, man, that was gonna be embarrassing, but she loves them. So really, she's given me a lot of confidence in myself, and I love her for that. And now I walk around with a whole bunch of moxie and confidence, and it feels great, So yeah, I feel like this person should not be self-conscious about their nose if their wife loves it. Like, that's the only person who you're trying to impress is your partner. So, like, you're not looking for anybody else to be with. So why worry about it? Okay, I had to pause there to see how far we have gotten, and we are getting pretty far. So I am going to do a couple more, and then we're going to end it. Okay? Because I didn't realize how much we did so far. Okay, this one, Kale Covert says, don't know why it stung so bad, but I, a tile contractor, was on a job and a dad was walking his little boy down the street. The boy looked over at me, saw me working with tools, and said something like, I want to be him when I grow up, or I want to be like him when I grow up. The dad, without a beat, says, oh gosh, I already know this is going to be bad. Come on, son, you're better than that. I'm very good at my job, but don't really like it, and I've always been a little self-conscious of it. I don't even really blame the dad because I get it. I think maybe that's why it stung. Anywho, where's my dog at? Edit. Oh God, wow, seriously, thank you everyone for all the love, kind words, and stories. Honestly, it means a lot to me. I was not expecting a response and got hit by a rogue wave of love. Salsa Verde tacos are on me, fam. Oh wow. Okay, well, hey, you turn an insult into salsa verde tacos for the whole Reddit thread. All right, hearing that, yeah, that kind of sucks. Let's say, since I'm a mailman, if I'm walking and there's a little kid talking to his dad or mom saying, I want to be a mailman when I grow up, and they're like, oh, you want to do something, you want to be more than that, or you don't want to do that when you grow up, that's for fucking losers. Like, yeah, well, that would hurt really bad. But, well, no, I wouldn't take personally. Honestly, insults now do not insult me. Like I talked about being bald moments ago. Someone making fun of me for that really would not bother me. Back in the day, before I was, when I was self-conscious, I would have thought about how horrible it was, because when people would make fun of me for it, not make fun of me, but just even passing remarks, just saying small things that wouldn't even supposed to hurt, or people lying and saying like, oh, you're gonna grow out your hair, but like being genuinely serious about it to make me feel better. Like, yeah, that shit hurt. But now it's all laughable to me. But now if someone made fun of me for being bald, I really would not care. I really would not. I'd be laughing with them. I'd be like, you're right. What I've learned from insults is that the people insulting you literally are horrible people. To make fun of someone like that for something like, me, something I can't control, even if you can control something, and it's something you enjoy or something you're forced to do, like this job, like, man, fuck them. Fuck them, dude. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what they say, because they're not in your life. They don't know the full story. So yeah, fuck them. Well, what's their job, huh? What job is so much better that they have to make fun of you, like, literally. Even, and then another insult people give out is saying, dude, you're just broke. Now, that used to, like, I mean, I never got called broke before. I know this was like a meme joke, but, even I've been made fun of for being poor, like living in an apartment, and, it's just passing comments of like the bald thing a little bit, just saying stuff that may not sound hurtful, but it was. But like being called broke, Pickles. Hold on. Sorry, I literally could not focus on what I was saying with Pickles and Ozzy running by. Pickles mostly always causing the issues. Pickle Wickles, and Ozzy Wazzy. No. Anyways, if they don't frickin' run past me again, being broke, or Pickles. I swear. Pickles. Stop. Okay? Daddy's trying to record. Being called broke, like saying to someone you don't have any money, like that, even if it's not true, even if you just say that, like it's saying it over the internet, like in a comment section where people say that at mostly, like that should not bother you whatsoever. That is not an insult at all. It's calling, because that means that goes to show that person values money over everything else. And it's just not true. Like, yes, money is valuable and you need to have it to survive. But it's not like being rich is not something like being rich to me is having a family with a healthy family with kids. They're in good shape, just being happy with the person you love. And yeah, that's basically being rich to me. Owning, like having millions of dollars, that's not something I want. That's not like, yes, I'd love to pay off everything, but if someone evil was to give me millions of dollars, I would turn it down. I would be like, no, thank you. I don't want money from someone evil like you. Billions, I wouldn't even want either, because then now people are going to start acting different around you too. Even if you hide it, you can only hide it for so long. What I would want would be maybe enough to pay off, my debts, my homes, not my homes. I just have one home, guys. My home, my car, and my credit card payments. Just that, everything be paid off. And for the rest of my life, I'm just comfortable. I don't have to ever think about living paycheck to paycheck. Just, constantly having a couple $1,000s in my bank account all at once, never going below 2,000 or something. Yeah. And having money in my savings, having I don't even know how much in my savings, but not having a lot, just having like 20,000 in my pickles. Having like 20,000 in my savings, I'm not. That's not a lot in like terms of being rich. That would just be enough. I wouldn't ask for anything more than that. Money is not like a big thing like to some people. The most richest people on earth are also the biggest scumbags. So why would you want to be like them when you can be a good person and just be comfortable in living? That's all I would want. So anybody who calls you that, says that to you, even if it's not true, over the internet, dude, literally say back to them, talk about how you can easily get them back, or don't respond. That's the number one thing. They never respond to haters. Also, if you do respond to that, just say like, if you value money over whatever you're talking about, for someone to say that to you, then you're worthless to me, or something like that. I don't know, but maybe not worthless. Don't be mean back, but if someone's mean to you, you don't want to be just like them either. That's why I always say don't respond to people online. I've learned that as a YouTuber, responding to people can only cause issues. Sometimes if I really want to respond and I don't, I'll pin their comment and have other people attack them for me for being an idiot. So yeah, but the best thing to do is just not respond whatsoever. Okay, a couple more and then we'll be done here. Someone replied to their comment, I used to work in retail. The kids that worked for me were exactly that, kids, and usually still learning the ropes, as it was likely their first or second job. One day, a girl was having an issue at a register, so I went over to help her. It was some kind of technical malfunction, nothing she did wrong. I was able to get it working again after a minute or so, but I stuck around until the end of the transaction in case it happened again and she needed help. The pig of a man she was ringing up when this happened was talking to his daughter about school. The daughter and my cashier looked to be about the same age. She was saying she wasn't sure if she wanted to go to college, and he says, if you don't go to college, you're going to end up like her. Do you really want to go nowhere in life? As he looks directly at my cashier and throws his money on the counter at her. He couldn't even fucking hand her the money. Oh my gosh. Fuck that guy. Fuck the... man, that pisses me off. Holy shit, did I see red. Both the daughter and my cashier were mortified. I was also offended because I worked there too. I worked there too, buddy, but more so for my poor cashier. Because I couldn't go off on him, I had to politely explain that we don't take kindly to anyone insulting our employees, especially ones that are here working their way through college. He had no reply, that smug fuck. He had no reply. Sorry if you guys didn't hear what I said there. I took my cashier off of the sales floor and went to the back to share a hug, a tear, and a good fuck that guy session before we went back out. You can insult me, but don't fucking insult my kids. Yeah, that's a good manager right there. That's what I say about, people who like, people have talking shit on my mom before. Not a lot of people, of course, but people saying stuff about her. If you're gonna say something about her, you say something about me, not her. You don't talk about my mom or people I love to me or my best friend, my girlfriend. You don't say that shit. Anybody that I care about deeply, you do not say that to me. Like, fuck you. You're saying bad things about them. You're saying bad things about me as well. Like, you will not disrespect my mom, my girlfriend, or my best friend, or anyone else that I care about to my face. And if you do it behind my back, go fuck yourself. But yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. Alright, we'll read two more, and then we'll end it. Grade 2, I was told to mouth the words in the choir instead of singing by the music teacher. I still have a complex about singing to this day 30 years later. Screw you, Ms. Green. Yeah, fuck you, Ms. Green. I love the color green, but fuck you. That's disgusting. Arguably the biggest part of leading a children's choir is to build up each kid's confidence regardless of ability. That is so true. You don't want to take away... Oh yeah, especially grade 2. That totally slipped my mind. Like grade fucking 2, like... That is not something you say to a kid, not something you say to anybody at all. But man, did their parents do something to that teacher to make them say that? Like, that's why there's a Miss before Green and not Mrs. Because of course, that makes sense when people are not married at that age, and we all know why. All right, a person replied underneath that, yeah, our whole class had a participating elementary school music class. It was the only students who could actually sing that got solos, but the teacher never put anyone down and tried to help everyone get better individually. Well, that is adorable. That is awesome. All right, we got one more here. We got plenty more, but we're just going to do one more. Had a drama professor savage my admittedly poor attempt at a one-act play in front of the entire class. Then he wrote a long handwritten letter about how awful the play was and how I should have gotten out of my system and could now find another major. He then ended with some advice, a list of self-published books he produced that I could purchase if I wanted to stay in the class. I still have that letter somewhere 25 years later. Well, that's horrible. I mean, all of these are fucking horrible. Yeah, okay, they said admittedly it was a poor attempt at a one-act play, but man, to write a frickin' letter and then to start talking about your books in it, like, no, fuck that guy. This person said, I hope karma hit them hard. What a piece of shit. Yeah, what a piece of shit. For real. But yeah, these are insults that you'll never forget, that these people never forget. And yeah, they're horrible, and I hope it didn't ruin your day. And if it did, I apologize, and you are very amazing. You are so awesome. You got to remind yourself that daily. Wake up every day and say, I'm amazing, and everyone else is awesome. But if you're mean to me, you are a piece of poopy. Anyways, have a good day, guys. I don't know how to end this. And gals, and everyone else. Bye-bye.